Well, I'm at Munda Airport, which is in the Solomon Islands, and this is the Munda runway. And the Americans built this for their bombers during World War II. And it's long enough for jumbo jets. Goes a long way that way, back this way. The airport terminal is over there. And our plane just landed, so I thought I'd just pop out here just to show you this airport. And when the planes aren't here, it's just another piece of the island, really. People just come and go and ride their bikes, and I'm sure the kids have a lot of fun on it. It's only a short walk to the wharf area at Munda, and we arrived on a Friday, which is market day. The locals sell their fruit and vegetables, fish and other stuff, and people from the surrounding islands come to the market as well, and everybody gets around in these colourful little longboats. And because they're so long, they can fit a lot of people on them. I don't know how that would go in New Zealand, but that's what they do up here. As I said, the place we're going to stay at is called Pola Habu, and it's on Lola Island and part of the northwestern province of the Solomons. It's a peaceful place and it's well known for the fishing. Joe Entrican and his wife Lisa run this resort. Joe said that in the morning he's got everything teed up so I can go and have a look at what we've come here to see. Twin engines, it's always handy when you're a long way from outboard mechanics. But there's islands over there, and we're just going to go and jump on a couple and see what we can find. Just straight down there. And kick her in the guts, and away we go. So what we're going to do, folks, is is it Japanese or American?
It's American.
American. Yeah. Oh, okay. We're going to have a look at that.
Okay, we're going to walk.
Okay, walk with him.
Yeah.
And there it is. It's the remains of a Bell P39 Cobra. Looking at it, there's something odd. When people look at a plane, the engine's usually out the front with a propeller on the front of it. But looking at this plane's engine, the exhaust pipes are facing the wrong way for that to be the case. Very odd. So there it is, and the front of the plane was out that way, and thinking logically, the engine is actually behind the pilot. Looking at it, it's a V12, 6 pots each side. Looking into this cockpit, there's actually a drive shaft running along the bottom. So that drive shaft comes from the engine, under the pilot, out to the front and spins the propeller. Amazing. My friend Ewan Stevenson, who's involved in helping the American government find wreckage like this in the Solomons, gave me this photograph of a P-39 taking off. And sure enough, the engine is behind the pilot. Apparently it's one of the first planes to have what's known as the tricycle landing gear. A lot of planes of this era had the little wheel down the back of the plane. Norman was just saying the pilot jumped out with his parachute, got hung up in a tree, and the locals found him and looked after him, so he survived the war. But if you come down here, and he was saying the tail's down in the swamp down there, so obviously the plane's broken in half, and yeah, amazing. Oh well, that's a good story. Next we're off to see an old American tank, which has been sitting in the jungle for the last 70 years odd. And here's a testament to American steel. This is a Stewart tank, which is the smallest tank that they made in America. And obviously it suited the purpose here in the jungle, but even so, it's pretty thick, and all the trees all around. You'd have to have the D7s and the D8s in before and to make some sort of a track. We've got an engine in the back there. It's an interesting looking engine. Don't know if I can see it. It's got cooling fans, and the pots have got fins on them, which means they're air cooled, I guess. Oh dear. There's the way in. And if I got a job driving this tank, I don't think I'd be able to have it because I wouldn't be able to get down there. Let alone Captain Asparagus, he'd never get down there either. But dry shafts, it's a big fan there inside that engine compartment. I'm not quite sure what size the gun is, but here we are on Solomon Islands. The machine gun's still there on the side. The compartment for the driver. Who would volunteer to be a driver in one of these? Get down in there. Hot as hell. I see this little machine gun beside the big gun as well, so she's well equipped with guns. And you'll note that tracks have got rubber on them, and I guess that's so they could go along the tar seal without causing too much trouble. So here in the Solomon Islands, in the middle of the jungle, a leftover Stewart tank. Ewan showed me these photographs of the Stewart M3 tank, and sure enough it's an air-cooled engine, and you can see the flutes on the pots just like a motorbike, and the big fan that I could see in the front. Here's the back view, it's the same as what we looked at. Interesting they thought of using an air-cooled engine rather than water-cooled, but given there's not much fresh water on the islands, air-cooled was the logical way to go.